Welcome to today's episode of Between Us. We are really excited. We're thrilled to host Dr. Julie Hanks. Thanks for joining.
Oh, my pleasure.
This is one, I can't tell you how excited we are.
Thank you.
How did we get connected? I know we posted something on our story, I think, right?
Yeah.
And then just through that, we started talking and excited to have you on.
Well, thanks. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. Right off the top, you're a therapist, right?
Yep.
What's the difference between a therapist and a psychologist? And what else is there?
So within the umbrella of therapists, a therapist can be a psychologist, a licensed marriage and family therapist, a licensed clinical social worker, a licensed clinical mental health counselor. So that's kind of an umbrella term.
Okay.
So there's different disciplines underneath the umbrella of therapists. But to say therapist, you need to be licensed at a master's level. So a coach is not the same as a therapist.
I see. Okay.
They don't have to have any degree or credential.
Yeah, because I've been on where you like search for a therapist, right?
Yeah.
And it has all these like
LCSW,
and I'm
LMFT.
Like, well, how do I know which one is right for me, right?
Yeah, and it's more the person.
Okay.
It's more you want to connect with the person. That's more important than the degree. Psychologists do a lot of testing where the other master's level disciplines don't do as much testing. And to be licensed as a psychologist, you need to have a PhD.
Oh, okay.
With the exception of school psychology, you can be licensed at a master's if you're a school psychologist.
Wow.
But anyway,
that's
why I tell people it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
The person matters more.
Right. Yeah.
So
I know, because when I was looking for someone, I was like trying to research, like what's the schooling, like what can they prescribe, can they not prescribe?
Yeah, and that's psychiatrists can prescribe,
that's the
or
other
psychiatric nurse practitioners.
Oh.
So
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Good to know.
There's lots of
You're also an author, which is so exciting. When did you write your first book?
I think it was 2013.
Oh,
or
really?
12. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you have a publisher or you self-published?
Yeah.
You did.
Publisher. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's cool.
And then my second book, I worked with another psychology self-help publisher.
Yeah.
The Assertiveness Guide for Women.
Love it. Yeah, I was looking at those.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should read them, but
You know what? It applies to everybody.
Cool.
It's just more the scenarios are geared toward women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
But all the principles apply.
Awesome.
You just have to get over the fact that it's a hot pink cover. put a bag on it, you know.
Actually,
Yeah, that's
true. So, you're also an outspoken advocate within the LDS community.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how you'd title.
Well, I always am interested how people describe
I know.
me, right?
That when I was typing that, I was like, I hope she's okay with me saying that.
No,
right?
I think that's
okay.
I am passionate about mental health and relationship health within the LDS community. And I think there's so many easy tweaks that would make life so much easier for everybody.
Yes.
But, yeah.
And then you also host a podcast, the Ask Dr. Julie Hanks podcast.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting how you do that. You bring people on, right? And they bring something specific to you, and you kind of walk them through it, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool. And you can find that on Spotify.
Everywhere. Yeah. In fact, I should have both of you come on and come up with a really good question, and then we'll have you on.
I don't know how long your podcasts are, but and then you're also the owner and director of the Wasatch Family Therapy, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it is just about open dialogue and personal authenticity, which I love, right?
Yeah.
So, anything else that they should know about you? What am I missing?
Quite the resume.
That sounds good.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I mean, it sounds impressive. I don't know who you're talking about, but
I know. I was like, I can't make it too long. The whole podcast would be just credentials. So.
I've been doing this for a long, long time.
Yes.
So.
No, this is awesome. So,
Thanks.
Yes. And then just so you know a little backstory to us. So, we got married in 2015. So almost 10 years. So
wow. Congrats.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. And I know you're married. How long have you been married?
35 years.
35 years.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you guys met
It's a long time. You're like,
Congrats.
35 years. Yeah. We actually met, we got to know each other at Lake Powell. On a Lake Powell with
that's where we connected.
No, it's not.
It's not. Oh, I heard that you said that you like Lake
where we
Powell, but you
almost
really don't like Lake
disconnected.
Powell. Oh, I don't know if we can.
I
be
like
friends.
the idea. I like the idea of Lake Powell.
Yeah,
On a
the
houseboat, even.
That's what he doesn't like. He
Oh,
doesn't
my
like
gosh.
the houseboat. He wants to be in a nice hotel or mansion.
All right. Well, yeah, we can.
There
we
was
can
an
talk later.
AC.
You have to have AC.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Without the AC,
it was hard.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a hard time.
We
in
were
my
roughing
life.
it. Yeah. So we met at Lake Powell
Cool.
on a young adult trip.
That's so fun.
Anyway, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's a good trip.
Impressed him with my water skiing and boat driving skills, and
I know.
he
There's like a
impressed
running
me.
joke. You have to earn Lindsay's dad's love by getting up on the wakeboard.
wakeboarding. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we've had a lot of life experiences. So we lost our son in 2018, and that obviously was a pinnacle of like,
Oh yeah.
we were
Devastating.
making it or breaking it
Yeah.
at that point, right? And through that, we started a business in his name to give back, and like that's what we've done for the past 5 years. And recently, we've gotten rid of the business side of it, but we kept the community, right? And now we just podcast, right? So, and the reason we did that is because it was hard reliving the death of our son every day.
Which is like part of our grieving process, but we were kind of stuck in the one part of the grieving process, and I think it was just time for us to move on. So.
Yeah.
So, and now we're just trying to like find that happiness and like hope again, right? Because we were in that rut for a long time, and
Of course.
it's time for us now to like live, because before we were just getting by and just like, oh man, this life is so long. How do we just when is this going to end, right? So that's kind of just our backstory, just so you're caught up to speed. But our audience, they're awesome. Like they've been along with us through it all, right? And even now, like we talk about faith and like how we're trying to work through that. What's our relationship with God? So there's a lot happening right now, and that's why we're so excited to have you on. But something we do on every podcast is called Settle Our Debate, where we let the audience give their input on a debate, okay?
Yeah.
And last week's debate is, do you have the right to go through your significant other's phone? And I wanted to kind of get your feedback before I tell you what the community was saying.
I would say no, you don't have the right.
Okay.
You can make a request, but as two grown adults, you get to have, you get to decide.
Yeah.
There's an impact to saying, no, you can't look at my phone.
Right.
Right. But I don't think it's a right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what we were saying is
like I could go, like Jaiden would be fine probably if I asked him, but I don't feel like I could just pick it up and look through it without him like knowing,
Well, it's interesting being a therapist because with HIPAA, no one is allowed to go because I have confidential information. I have an app that has my client information. So my husband has never opened my phone in 35 years.
That is an interesting angle.
Wow.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, there's confidential information on my phone.
Well, that's interesting.
So no, the answer is no.
It's like, you already know. Yeah, it was interesting. And we talked about that. Like, what if like you're planning a surprise party and then they see that you're planning that, or like, you know what I mean? Like there's some barriers there. But the consensus was, yes, the opportunity should be there, but a lot of the community said they don't feel the need to do so.
Yeah.
Right.
But you asked if it's a right.
Right.
I don't think it's a right
Yes.
to do anything for another adult without consent, permission, that kind of thing. So
Cool. Okay.
So is it settled?
It's settled. You heard it here. Yeah, you heard it here first. So, okay. I love TikTok. So I saw this thing. There's a trend, and it's like, if music is therapy, who is your therapist?
Oh.
Which I thought was interesting.
If music is therapy. So I'm a performing songwriter too.
Oh, you are?
So music literally is my therapy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who's your therapist then? Is there a certain artist or certain genre that really...
recent, like it changes all the time. But last year, Morgan Wallen was my therapist.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't he coming this summer? Or is that
I don't think
else?
he's coming.
Oh.
Luke Combs is coming.
Yes,
yeah.
that's who it is.
I got tickets to that.
So you like
just
country?
gotten into country. Like, growing up, I never was into country. And even in my 20s, 30s, it's more been like late 40s, 50s that I've gotten it really into country. And as a songwriter, I can appreciate the brilliant songwriting and the storytelling.
Yeah.
And so with Morgan Wallen's last album, I don't know. I just love that
I have
album.
to tell you, that surprised me.
I'm drinking and driving trucks. But yeah, that...
Throwing chairs off roofs.
Yeah, really, like... I don't know why, and it's not like I can relate to everything, but I just have really enjoyed his most recent album. So
that's interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so but someone I can relate to more. I just don't want to say like the Taylor Swift thing, but I love Taylor Swift too.
Okay.
I've been listening to her new album the last week.
She's just good at writing songs. I feel like.
But I'm not as tortured as you know. But it's still really good stuff. So
yes. What about you, Linz?
I mine changes too, but I always go back to like emo music. Like
this might surprise you too. If people were walking past and heard Lindsay's music while she's getting ready, they'd think there's wackos living in this house.
I like emo music, but I also love like breakup music, like
breakup?
Like Kelly Clarkson type. I love that type of music. Yeah.
Kelly Clarkson,
again, I don't
her new album is really great too. So, gosh, also there's something about like 80s pop.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my era, my high school. Like, so there's something, nostalgic.
Yeah. Yeah. For some reason, I'm on like an 80s kick right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Who are you listening to?
The Cranberries.
Yeah.
I can't stop listening to them for some reason.
I love her voice.
Yes. Okay. If food is therapy, who is your therapist?
Chips and guacamole.
Oh.
In Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Even a setting for it.
Oh, yeah. By the pool or beach in Mexico.
I love it. Kaylin?
Chipotle. Yes. I love Chipotle.
So we have a theme going here, like
I might
Mexican.
break the theme, yeah.
All right.
Definitely a dessert.
Yeah, that's true.
I have a sweet tooth.
Always.
So, like a creme brulee or...
creme brulee.
So, can I go dessert too?
Yeah,
Key lime pie.
Oh.
Like a really good, real key lime pie.
Oh, that talk about nostalgic. That's for me, nostalgic for some reason. Okay, if traveling is therapy, who's your therapist? Is it Mexico for you?
I go there most frequently, but last year I went to Rome, and that was amazing. Wow. So I'd have to say Rome, even though I frequent Mexico.
Yeah,
but
you
Rome,
really felt like that.
That was just the history. It's just overwhelming.
That's my dream. Yeah. Mine is probably Rome, even though I haven't been there.
But you're somewhere in Europe.
Somewhere in Europe, for sure. Because I like the tropical, but there's something about just like an old building or like old painting, that just like puts something in my soul. I already know what yours is.
What? Tell me.
Go ahead.
You tell me. I want to hear what yours is.
Well, it's just anywhere there's sand.
I was going to say like Powell is actually.
Oh, gosh.
It's just, I went to therapy a while ago.
Yeah.
And they did this exercise where I had to close my eyes and I had to put myself in a place.
Yeah,
A safe
I did
place.
Yes,
that.
a safe place.
Yeah,
And I had
yeah.
to like listen to the sounds and the smells and everything. And it was Lake Powell that I brought myself to.
Wow.
So that is my therapy place, and Jaiden just hates it. So
I'll go with you.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Dr.
We
Julie
actually
Hayes
have
will
like
take
2
you.
trips planned this summer. So
Awesome. Yes, my family. I grew up going, so that's like just my place, and Jaiden just ruined it.
yeah.
I ruined it. How did I ruin it?
Will you go at least though?
Yeah.
Okay.
But she doesn't want me to go.
Okay.
Oh,
yes.
because you're a downer?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But I got sunburnt, and I was like,
Oh.
I'm very sunburnt, Linz. And she's like, you're ruining this trip for me. You know?
Just stay inside.
Yes. Just stay inside and don't go in the sun. Just let me enjoy my trip.
But trips, it depends on what the goal of the trip is,
Yeah.
right? There's travel trips and then there's like vacations.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's kind of 2 different categories. And there's one like with kids and one without kids.
Yeah.
You know, vacations are like chill without
Yeah.
family.
We're
do
bad
love-
at vacation.
I do love Caribbean cruises.
Cruise was awesome.
Yeah.
That was so fun. We just played chess the whole time. And
You played chess the whole time on a cruise?
Yeah,
I know, okay?
Okay, all right. Well, I don't know about you two.
We
okay.
got in a big argument because Jaiden cheated.
At least you know how to play chess. I never learned how to play
Really?
chess. So-
We only had one argument on our entire cruise, and it was over chess.
well, if you're doing it the whole time, I mean,
I know, it's bound to happen, right?
bound to happen.
But it's interesting that you brought that up, the safe place.
Oh, okay.
So I was in therapy, and he's like, close your eyes. And he's like, go to your safe place, you know? And I couldn't find anything.
Oh, that's kind of depressing.
I know.
Yeah.
And he's like, tell me about it. And I was like, I just need to make something up.
I'm going to just lie to my therapist and
I was
be a good client.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's a river. There's trees.
Sand,
Yeah.
sunshine.
But I literally, and after I was like, what does that say about me?
I don't know.
Like, where would I go?
That
What do you
don't
think,
feel
Dr.
safe.
Julie?
You may not feel safe in the world, Jane.
Maybe.
But it doesn't have to be it could be like in your bedroom. It could be on this couch. It doesn't have to be a place. It could, like
true.
mine is my grandma's house
Oh, really?
out by the pool. Yeah. Like it doesn't have to be a exotic place.
I know. And I was like, the issue is I would think of a place, but then danger would come in.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, this is probably another podcast.
This
This is
on
probably
yours?
Ask Dr. Julie Hanks. What does it mean if danger always enters my safe place, Dr. Hanks?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, I'm by the river. But what if like a snake's behind me and is going to bite me? Okay, then I'll go.
Okay, well, we could have some,
Okay.
we could talk about
And
that.
I will tell you this. I've gone to many a therapist.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have told me I'm complicated.
Yeah.
As far as there's a lot going on
Yeah.
between these ears, you know?
Yeah, I do know.
And like, it's weird. But I'm not like, I'm doing good.
Right.
Yeah. No, you can
I'm
be
a functioning.
complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how I am. I mean,
Okay.
I have lots going on all
Yeah.
the time.
Because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, there's that problem. Oh, but also this and this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, and another thing, you kind of said it, but I feel the need to like make them feel like they're a good therapist.
Okay, well, that's something to work on in therapy.
You know, like,
Yeah, but do you ever say that? Like, I'm feeling the need to please you?
no.
Okay.
I'm too much of a people pleaser.
Yeah.
I've
But that's part of what you probably need to say in
know.
therapy is like, I'm trying to please you, so call me on my crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're not
Because I
being
want them
authentic.
to like go deep.
Yeah, because he would go and then he would come home. He'd be like, they just didn't like get to the root of what I needed.
Well,
them.
because
But-
you're pretending.
Yeah.
That's
I know,
why.
I'm just like-
Yes. But then he'll keep going back because he
Yeah.
doesn't want them to feel like they did a bad job, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Therapist pleaser.
Yeah, it's weird, huh?
No, so what people do is they replay their patterns in the therapy relationship. So if you're a
Okay.
people pleaser in
Yeah.
your life, then you're going to do that in therapy.
Yeah.
And really skilled therapists will call you out on that and say,
that's what I need.
oh, gosh, I'm wondering how you try to please me.
Yeah.
And, and they'll actually talk about that.
Yeah, because I told her, I was like, I want them to be mean to me.
Oh my gosh.
You don't want
You know
them
what
to
I
be,
mean.
No,
Not like mean, but I want them to be like,
to
Jaiden,
confront you on your...
Right, confront. That's a good
let's
word.
get down to business.
Right.
But I just feel like it's like...
But you're also hiding.
Yes.
I know, I'm
So
making
you're
it
making it
hard
hard.
on them.
Yeah. So not making it hard.
Am I complicated?
No, you're not at all.
I'm okay.
But next time you go, say, I'm trying to please you. And another therapist friend said, I need to tell you. Blame it on me.
They're like, what's her name?
Don't tell. Don't tell.
Yeah, I've been struggling with that.
Yeah.
Because then I'll end up stop going to them because I'm like, I'm in too deep in this like persona that I've like built with them.
Yeah. So seriously, next time you go,
Okay.
you have to say, I people please, and I'm going to try to please you, and I need you to call me on my shiz.
I just got chills. That's what I need to do.
It's totally what you need to do.
I need to do that,
Or
'cause-
they need to call you on that.
I know. Yeah. Because I feel like they like me and they don't want to like be mean to me.
Well, it's
Well,
not
I don't
being,
think they
it's
wanna
not
be
being
mean.
mean.
Like they don't want to like
Be pushy or
like be like, Jaiden, this is...
But you don't want them to because you're hiding.
I
You don't
know.
want them to.
I do.
You're trying to please
Trust
them.
me.
No, you would say what's
know.
actually happening for you.
You're giving me the tough love I need, and I appreciate it.
Seriously,
'cause-
you got to tell them.
Yes, I do, because it's like, I'll go to every therapist in this valley if I don't.
He's
you
the
know?
same way
Yeah.
with he says he wants a trainer, but he doesn't want someone that's gonna be like, yeah, Jaiden. He wants someone to be like, you're the worst. You need to get down and
Yeah.
give me 10 push-ups or whatever.
Yeah, I need someone to be like, no.
Why? Why do you
You're
need
not too tired to come to the gym right now. Get your butt here.
Why do you need that?
I don't know, because I tell myself stuff that's not true.
Like what?
Like, I'll be like, I'm too tired to go to the gym.
Yeah.
And if they're just like, it's okay, bud. Like, take your time. I'll take my time.
You're looking for some tough love.
Yeah. I need someone to be like, no, you need to get here and,
Yeah.
and
You
lift some
need
weights.
to be held accountable.
Yes, I need an
Yeah.
accountability partner.
There you go.
Because
But they don't have to be mean to be that. They can just
Oh,
be
really?
like, okay, I hear you're really tired. Get your butt over here. We're
Yeah.
going to be doing
Yeah.
a workout. Like it's not a
yeah,
kind or mean.
yeah,
There's like just direct and kind.
yeah. Maybe I'm looking for too much of like polars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Like black and white.
Yeah, like-
either indulge me or like be mean to me. There's just a lot in between,
That's me.
right?
Okay. Cool. We'll end with this. If shopping is therapy, who is your therapist? We'll end with this segment. We'll keep going, but shopping.
Athleta.
Really?
Their ads pop up.
I know.
I
Athleta.
really like their stuff.
What do you get?
These cargo pants.
Yeah,
That's
I
from
like
Athleta?
those.
Yeah.
No way.
Well, they have petite, so I'm
Oh,
short.
yes.
So I mostly shop online,
Yeah.
and I have certain stores, but Athleta, and they have like athleisure that's kind of dressier.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
kind of
So
like
you can
wear it to
wear
work.
it. Yeah.
But
That's
also
cool.
lots of exercise clothes. Yeah.
Okay, Linz.
It's a good question. I went shopping online the other day, and ASOS had a lot of stuff I was looking for. I really like the graphic tees right now. And so whoever sells the best variety of those is my therapy.
Okay.
And it was ASOS.
Nice.
I like ASOS. They have good stuff. They have good shoes.
Yeah.
ASOS. I've never even heard of it.
They sell like a ton
Just a
of different
retailer?
brands. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Oh, shopping. I'm bad at shopping.
Teddy Fresh.
I like Teddy Fresh. Yeah.
What's that?
It's a podcast I watch.
Okay.
His wife's clothing business.
Okay.
But it's like really fun clothes, like
Yeah,
flowers,
I like funky
and
kind of.
Okay, cool. I've never heard of
bears
it.
and
Yeah.
stuff, and I like that stuff. But I just recently shopped on TikTok for the first time, and I bought these shirts. They were $5. So I thought they would show up and be like toddler size for that price, but they're actually really nice. So
cool.
Yeah, so but yeah, I usually shop like once a year, and then I'm good. So okay, something I want to talk about is your audience.
Okay. Yeah.
That was something that I really liked about you and your page in general, just because I feel like it's a good mix of people that are either like devout members of the church or to people that don't go to church anymore or kind of in the middle or not even members. But I like how you try to bring the two together.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Thank you.
I guess that's
Thank you.
kind of like where we're at, especially living in Utah and with family members. It's just hard to navigate that.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I like to build bridges.
Yeah.
And I think in LDS communities and culture, there's so many walls that are built, and it's like, no, we don't need walls that divide us and them.
Right.
And or you're this type of, you're this whatever.
Yeah.
It's like we're all people trying to figure out this life, and let's not build walls and divide people into these categories that are really not helpful for relationships and not helpful for individuals. I just, the us and them thing is so unhealthy mentally to think of yourself as like, I'm in group, out group kind of stuff.
But it's interesting reading your comments though, because I feel like, especially on ones like, for instance, the one that I really liked was the one about the Thinking Celestial talk last October. I think was the one where it kind of just went through like ways, because it was kind of hurtful, his talk, because it's like, especially to those, I mean, especially for people that maybe are in like a mixed faith marriage.
That was immediately what I thought. I was like, oh, great. Now kids are going to think, oh, I don't have to listen to my parent that doesn't go to church.
Right.
Or I don't have to listen to my partner that doesn't go to church or that doesn't believe. Like that's not good for relationships or mental health.
Right. So
and what was said, it was...
Don't take counsel from those who don't believe.
Yes.
Or something to that
something that
effect.
affected kind of like those, they're kind of, kind of leading up to that. He said something about how...
And this was President Nelson.
Talking about like how these people can be deceived by the devil or something like that. And so it was hard to like, I didn't listen to it, but people were posting about it, but it was kind of hard. Like that's what they're telling people about people that people love, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's very divisive. And so, but what was interesting is like the comments, because, the people that are like me are like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. But then people that are like devout members are like, how could you go against the prophet? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just hard because I feel like members of the church think that, anyways, I'm not going to tell people how they think, but like, I just feel like they feel they're doing their duty, you know what I'm saying? Because they're putting God and the church above family or whatever else. And I just feel like that's a hard dynamic to get past, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm often accused of trying to lead people out of the church. I'm like, I don't care if people are in or out of the church. Right. I care about people's mental health. And the impact of these things on relationships. That's what I talk about. But people are like, so if I don't bear my testimony, then I'm like, leading people astray. I'm like, as a professional, I can't have I don't have an agenda to keep people in the church or to lead people out. That's a personal decision. What I want to do is speak out about things that are unhealthy for your mental and emotional health and your relationships. And that's what I focus on. But I get called names all the time.
I know.
And then I also have people like, thank you. That was so hurtful. I'm like, I can see that.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like looking through the comments, it's like some people are just, like Lindsay said, they feel like it's their mission to be like, no, Dr. Julie Hanks, you are wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and
which is fine. Like I am wrong sometimes. I admit it, whatever.
Yeah.
But But it's like a like missionary effort or something,
yeah.
you know?
But it's like, it's so interesting to me because it's like you're trying to be empathetic and validating and sympathetic to people. And then the people are just like, no, you cannot. This is how it is, you know? So that's just it's interesting to me. Because I feel like that's how members of the church should be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what you're taught to be like, but
But not really.
Right. Yes.
Like in some ways you're taught to be judgmental and like guard the boundaries of the church and call people, you know, be righteous judgment, which I hate.
Yeah.
Righteous judgment, which means just judgment.
Right.
And so in some ways we're trained to do that.
Yeah.
Right. And we're trained to think everybody should be bearing their testimony all the time.
Right.
Like I rarely ever talk about what I actually do or think or wear or right.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, make your own decisions, like be grown-ups, like figure this out. You don't have to do just exactly what you're told.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, a post I wrote down that I thought was interesting. The church recently put out a post about women and the priesthood. Right?
Yeah.
And they said there's no other religious organization in the world that I know of that has so broadly given power and authority to women. And I think the part a lot of people were struggling with is all women 18 years and older in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints who choose a covenant relationship with God in the house of the Lord are endowed with priesthood power directly from God. Right?
Yeah.
And you left a comment on that post.
I did.
And I couldn't find the comment.
Oh.
I don't know if they got hidden or...
No, it's still there.
It's still there. Okay.
Yeah, it's still there.
I know, I was trying to find it, but I found your post where you reshared it, right?
Okay.
And it seemed like it got a lot of traction as far as people agreeing.
Yeah, I got some like interviews on podcasts and things. People wanted to go like, what do you think about this? And
oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I think it had like 9,000
no
likes.
way.
Wow.
Yeah,
On
on
the
a one
comment.
comment.
Dude, that's crazy.
One comment.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So... yeah, and it was just interesting to see that, like, people see the leaders of the church as having this, like, divine precedence over you, right? Where it's like, we don't go there. We don't question. We don't, yes and no, right?
Yeah.
Actually, no no's, just yeses, right? And it's like, yeah, they, go and pray about it and get your own validation, but what if the validation is no?
Then they're like, well, then that's not the right answer.
Right?
Better pray
and
again.
So I just wanted to kind of see, like, how are you navigating that, right? And it's interesting because I was telling some people, like, hey, Julia Hanks is coming on our show, right? And the first thing they always ask is she active? The first thing,
It's a mystery.
You don't have to tell us. That's not a question.
No, I know. I know you're not.
But it's just interesting because it's almost like, well, if she's not active, then she's on that side.
Right.
If she is active, then she's
on the other
side.
side.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. She can't do both.
Right. You can't. Right. Because you can't be an active member and also acknowledge all the problems.
Yes.
Like, that's not okay.
Yes.
Right. You have to either be out and acknowledge the problem or in and pretend there's no problems.
Yeah.
Right. So I kind of freak people out because it's like, what? You can't.
But I actually like it because it kind of proves that you can do both, you know? Because in my brain, I'm like, I cannot. I have to be all in or all out. But I feel like if the church is going to get better or make some changes, I feel like it needs more people that, live the way you do, I guess you could say. Like, just kind of
you don't know how
I don't know how I live, but
you
at
make
least,
assumptions.
right? But at least like help people with their relationships because I feel like that's the only way that's going to help the church.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, how do you navigate that as far as like, because there was a comment on that post of yours that said it's not about what you want, it's about what the Lord wants.
And I'm like, that's great for you to think. And as a professional, like, I'm not speaking for the Lord. I'm speaking for mental health and relationship health.
Love it. Yeah.
And so, like, that's not my role in this setting, right?
Yeah.
That's not on a professional page to say, like, well, the Lord says you should do this. And it's interesting. People will, like, I had a question about, like, I don't want to wear garments and it upsets my husband or something like that. And I gave an answer. And people freak out because about garments, but it's not about garments. It's about boundaries around making choices as an adult, right? You could put anything in there, but because it's something related to the LDS faith, people are like, oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I'm talking about boundaries, but because it's around that, people are like, you're saying not to wear garments. I'm like, I've never said.
Yeah.
I'm saying you get to choose your relationship with the church or what things mean to you, or just like I'd say about anything else.
Right. Yeah.
But it just happens to be around those issues, and people just get really
very
riled
passionate.
up.
Yes.
Yeah. And does it ever bother you, the comments? Like, do you ever be like, oh, this is too much?
When it starts impacting my real life, like there was a letter writing campaign to my area authority, and someone was threatening to come to my ward and sit outside of my stake president's office and call for my excommunication, and and
so that's when it gets a little like lines are being crossed.
Yeah, generally it doesn't bother me, because I just kind of go like, it's coming from a place of fear.
Right.
Yeah.
It's coming from, and that's okay. People get to think what they think, and But when it impacts my real life and my family, like then that's where I draw the line.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's hard being in the public
eye,
right? And being a public figure.
Yeah, there's pros and cons, right? I have people come up to me at the gas station crying and saying, thank you so much for helping me, in my marriage or whatever,
Right.
So that's the great part. And so it's just, everything's just a mixed bag.
Cool. Okay. Should we move on to another activity?
Yeah.
I'm calling this myth or truth because I saw you do a post where you did that, right? And I want you to give me your thoughts. Okay. These are not things I agree with. These are just things I found.
Okay.
So don't be like,
this is not you.
This is not my opinion. Okay. Because they're kind of dicey.
Okay. All right. I'll just get geared up for this.
All right. Women who prioritize career over family are less happy.
Myth.
Okay.
Well, there are women who don't have families.
Right.
Yeah.
And
they're happy.
I just think anytime you make a general statement about something, if there's an exception, then you're like, it's a myth, right?
Yeah.
Because there's someone who,
And I think
I don't know a lot of people who do.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we tend to view women who prioritize their careers at all as prioritizing it above their family. What about prioritizing them both?
Yeah.
Why does one have to be above the other? And we tend to kind of do that,
That's
like rank things.
Yeah.
Oh, you focus more than on your family. It's like, because I have a career?
Yeah.
Like, no. Would you say that to a man?
Right.
Yeah. I like the saying, we produce a podcast for this other guy, and he says, you'll never find work-life balance. You will only find work-life harmony.
Yep.
Right. That's the goal. He's like, because if I'm here working, I'm not at my son's, sitting there with my son. So there's not balance. Right. So I really like that.
I also think just the framing of that, you wouldn't say to a male, you would think, oh, he's working hard at his career for his family, right? Why don't you say she's working hard at her career for her family?
Yeah.
That, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So we kind of pit those against each other for women, and we don't with men, and I think that's really unfair.
Yeah. That's why you're here.
Yeah. Set everybody straight. No.
Okay. This next one is the concept of Heavenly Mother is taboo in LDS teachings because it challenges traditional gender roles.
That's why it's taboo?
What do you think? That's why it's taboo?
No, I don't think that's why it's taboo. I think because of patriarchy and because we don't have female leaders that are receiving revelation that is more relevant, and not that Heavenly Mother is only relevant to women, but men have their role models lined up all through the scriptures, and there's this huge void when it comes to female figures, So I think it's patriarchy is the reason.
Yeah.
Okay. A successful relationship must always follow traditional gender roles with clearly defined duties.
Oh, that's totally false.
Shocker.
Yeah. Big surprise.
Yeah, I think it is interesting though that like the traditional gender roles, right? Like I have 2 friends I can think of that are stay-at-home dads.
Yeah.
Right? And like I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
Right? And that's perfect for them.
Yeah.
Right? And their wife loves their job. So it's like I feel like that's like again, some women like to work. Right? I've seen that, and it's like they don't like being the caregiver as much as they do like maybe the provider, right? And so more just your thoughts, I guess.
So I think that everybody has strengths, and every couple has different strengths and different priorities, and so I think traditional gender roles can be amazing if that's what both people consciously choose, and that's playing to their strengths and what they care about, right? So there's nothing wrong. Like some people go, you hate tradition. Like, no, I hate putting people in boxes without their choice, without their consent. Yeah. Like, let's get rid of the boxes and go like, what do you want for your life? What do you want to create? What do you want to create together? And then how do we best work that out?
I know I've seen this trend that's going on right now where girls will post them like making bread. Yeah. And will be like trad wife. Yeah. Traditional wife.
Right,
stuff.
right. The trad wife.
You know?
Yeah.
And it just comes across really weird to me.
I do too, because I would.
So then what's the opposite? Right.
Untrad wife. We should start a hashtag untrad wife.
That's a good idea.
At your computer.
Wearing pants and
making money, like fanning yourself with your $100 bills.
Awesome. It's really
untrad
weird
wife.
To me. Yeah.
So I think that's great if that's what makes them happy.
Yes.
Not if it's to conform with some external standard that somebody created somewhere that.
And it's almost like a weird like badge of honor.
Yeah. Which is great if that's what they want to do, right? Like it's no dissing the trad wives. Like awesome if that's what you choose.
We love our trad wives.
Yeah.
We love them. Okay. Money and financial success are key to resolving most relationship challenges.
To the extent that your basic needs are met, Like if your basic needs aren't met, then you can't work on other issues, right? But no, money does not solve all. Like that is not the most important thing.
That's not the end all.
But it can be really nice, and it can really help.
Right.
Yeah.
Take some of the stress, the practical stress away to work on the other issues.
What percentage, I don't even know if you can answer this, but what percentage of people that come to you, is it money?
Money is never the issue.
That's like
it's what it represents.
Money
represents power, freedom, resources, decision making, right? Like it's what money represents to each person and in the relationship.
Interesting. Yeah.
That makes
sense. Love
it.
Yeah, it does. Okay. Can I give you a scenario?
Of course.
Okay. We'll do a little
Ask Dr. Julie
Ask Dr. Julie Higgs now.
You're stealing my podcast. What are you doing?
Okay. So we have our son, Fletcher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cutie.
The best.
Cutie. Oh.
Right. He's going to take the world by storm.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Great things will be accomplished by Fletcher. Right.
A build up.
But I'm worried.
Okay.
Because we don't go to church anymore. Okay. And I grew up here in Utah, right? And I know that I'm 30, right? And it's different times now. But I know it was hard for the non-member kids growing up. I know for sure.
Someone recently was it one of you guys that told me someone they know got bullied because they weren't members growing up?
Yeah.
Oh, it was Harry's. Oh, she just didn't get treated very well.
And I'm just worried about Fletcher, you know, because like it's going to be hard for me to help him navigate that because I didn't have to. Right. Like I grew up in the church, right? And all my friends like we're all members,
doing the
right?
doing
like,
the thing.
We're all in Young Men's or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, how do we like set the stage for him to be able to navigate that?
Yeah.
And I've also heard of like people that we know of that they don't believe it's true, but they go to church for their kids so that they kind of get accustomed to the culture, right?
Right.
And so that it's not weird for them to have friends that are members, and it's not weird for their friends to be friends with them, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to kind of get your thoughts on like,
Yeah.
how do we navigate that?
Yeah. So I think a big issue comes down to values. And I think LDS people assume that other LDS people have the same values. So it's going to be important for you as parents to let other parents know your values. Right?
Yeah.
That like, look, you know, your kid comes to our house. It's not like we're just going to be, you know, smoking weed and right. Like, so it's this assumption of like, oh, we have the same values. My kid is safe there. And so you're going to have to work harder to kind of share what your values are so people feel comfortable. Like,
that's interesting.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Because my dad, he didn't go to church, right? My whole childhood. And I had friends, they'd call, hey, do you want to play, you know? And then they would ask, is your mom home? And I'd be like, oh, no, but my dad's here, you know? And they'd be like, oh, can you let me know when your mom's home, right? And I knew that, obviously, like, okay, you know? And like, it was hard. Like, and
it breaks my heart.
it was sad for my dad, right? Like, because like...
we can't trust him because you don't know what he's up to.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, I had friends that were told like our house is the devil's playground, right? And like, it was just weird, right?
Like that's horrible. That's
so like I do have a taste of like what that could be like for him, but and I love that of like, if they just know we're good people, hopefully that's enough. Right.
And that you're not like kids aren't going to have access to, you know, Jack Daniels in the snack drawer and like little, you know what I mean? They just want to know that you have similar values. That you value being kind. That you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, it's like I felt like a lot of times those that weren't members of the church kids, people thought of them as like the naughty kid.
Right. It's the LDS kids that are doing stuff under.
Yes.
You know,
and like
covert stuff.
Yeah, and I don't want people to just assume instantly that Fletcher is this like
bad kid,
rebel.
You know?
Right.
And people are gonna assume
whatever
I feel like
adults still do that in the church. You know, like if you're not, it's the us versus them type of mentality.
Exactly.
Like they view people that aren't in the church as these sad people that make wrong choices, you know what I'm saying? They're just kind of rebellious, which I feel like you also view that when that kind of trickles down to your kids, I feel like. And so then your kids start to view other kids that aren't members that way as well.
Yeah. So I think starting, like, get to know your neighbors, have people over in your home, talk about what your values are. Like, we value family, we value honesty, we value protecting our child from inappropriate things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think that will really help if your community knows you and trusts you. That's really what people are looking for, but they kind of collapse it with like, oh, they're LDS, so we have the same values, which isn't necessarily the case, right? Like
they could be kind of like Ted Bundy was a serial killer and he was a member of the church. Yeah,
so you just never know.
Whoa, okay.
Thanks for that. Thanks for that reminder.
If there's one thing Lindsay does, it's come out of left field.
Well, I'm a big true crime person. So I'm like, I saw that. I saw this. Like,
me. I
saw this documentary.
Who else was a member?
Well, let me tell you.
No. All right. I love that. Thank you. Yeah, because it is something I'm worried about, and like he's such a cute kid. I'd hate for anyone to like think otherwise.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like,
of course.
So okay. Let's jump into, we're on the later half, so we're doing good. We're doing good on time. So each week we ask the listeners to submit a question.
Okay.
And they vary, right? But we teed up this episode and told them, hey, Dr. Julie Hanks is coming on. What do you want to ask her?
Yeah.
Right? And one of the submissions I'll read here.
Okay.
So they said, I'm so excited to see the episode with Dr. Julie Hanks. She has helped me through so much of my trauma and being kind to myself.
Yay.
That's sweet.
Aww.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But here's my question. I'm having a hard time reconciling my personal beliefs with the teachings of my faith, leading to a spiritual crisis that affects not just my personal sense of peace, but also my relationships with family who are deeply religious. How do I navigate this faith transition while maintaining respectful and loving connections with those around me who may not understand my journey?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the question is, how do I reconcile
Yeah.
the shift in faith
And then
while
navigate.
keeping your relationship with your family.
Yeah,
Yeah,
while keeping
yeah.
that.
So you know this, I'm all about like, you are the boss of you,
Yeah.
right? You have to be, you don't have to be, but you'll have a better life if you trust yourself and you're authentic.
Yeah.
I think if you allow, so if this listener allows their family members to be who they are, and is it a she or he? Do you know?
I don't.
If they are who they are, which is
Yeah.
probably a lovely, generous person, people navigate this all the time.
Yeah.
No name calling, no us versus them, that kind of thing. I know a big complaint that active LDS family members have about people who've left is that they feel like they can't talk about anything religious because it's triggering to the person who left.
Yeah.
And so I would say do your work around that so your family members can share spiritual things with you without you reacting and or having it be a negative thing. So do work around any spiritual trauma that you have.
Yeah.
And lead with feelings, not facts. So when people leave, they often will want to download all, like, oh my gosh, I learned this.
Yeah.
And did
Can you
you know that?
believe- yeah.
Can you
Right,
believe
yes.
this?
Yeah.
Joseph Smith and blah,
Yeah.
Book of Abraham, whatever. They want to like
Yes.
download all
It's
the,
true,
you
yeah.
know, or
Yes,
do you know
right.
how damaging
Right.
the LGBTQ, right? No, like that's just not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So talk about, I have a sense of betrayal. I found out some things about the church that I feel betrayed about. Right? That's leading with
Yeah.
a feeling, not a fact.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not saying what that fact is, right? Because
Yeah.
active believing members, they don't want to hear it.
Right, it's
They're
true.
not, most people are not open to it.
Just as you don't want to hear why it's true.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
don't be a missionary
The
on
opposite
the flip
way.
side,
Yeah.
right? Like try to recruit people to leave the
Right,
church is
yeah.
the same as people trying
Yeah.
to recruit
Yeah.
you to stay in. And
Yeah.
so I think if you have respect, you lead with emotions and not try to download all the facts that you've learned
Yeah.
to people who aren't interested. You could say, "Are you interested?" And if ask them, are you
Right.
interested in hearing what
Yeah.
what led me to this point?
Yeah.
And some people will be, and some people won't be.
Yeah.
They're just like, I'm not interested
Yeah.
in knowing that. I don't want to know. And so just like mutual respect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that because I feel like, obviously those things that I once learned and was living were important to me, but now I don't feel the same way, but they're still important to my family members, and
Yeah.
that's something that they cherish, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not
Yeah.
going to try and like tear them down because that's something that's important to them,
Right. And they shouldn't try to convert you
Right.
or like send you conference talks. and,
Right, yeah.
You can set boundaries around that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Come back. No.
And I get where they're coming from too, because it's like when we were active, right? It's
Yeah.
like I felt the need to save.
Right. Yes.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
with my family members that didn't go to church, I feel like it damaged our relationship, right? Where it was like, that's all I cared about
Right.
was I got to save you, right?
Like,
when they didn't need
it's
any
not-
saving. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's not my
Exactly.
job to save them anyways, right?
Right.
Even if I did believe. So,
Right.
yeah, I love that where it's like, we're not here to be like scientists like debating this thesis, right? It's
Right.
like that's my brother, or that's my sister, or that's my mom, right? That's where it ends for me.
Yeah.
Right.
And prioritizing the relationships.
Yeah.
Have you heard David Archuleta's new single?
Yes.
Held
No.
Together. It's about this. It's about prioritizing relationships.
It is?
Oh my gosh. You have to.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Basically, it's his mom's response to him coming out and leaving the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Really?
Yeah.
She says if you can't come to heaven because he's like LGBTQ, then she said then we'll go to hell together because I don't want to be in that heaven without you.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
And that's a great example of prioritizing the relationship. And I'm not saying you have to leave the church to prioritize the relationship, but that's what happened in their case. But it's always about the relationship. And active believers, it's about relationships.
Yeah.
It's about eternal family
families.
relationships.
Yeah, that's the only thing you'll keep in the next life is your relationships.
And so, but I always say there are no eternal families if you don't have a relationship here.
That's true.
Like if you believe in eternal families, if you're not talking to your child because they've left the church here, like no hope for you.
Right.
You have to have a relationship here in order to have any hope of anything in the next life.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'm sending just that clip to my mom.
Yeah.
I'm sending that single sentence.
Meg says she's sending that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
There's no relationships in the next life if you don't have one here. That one? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got a soundbite.
Look at you. Real-time therapy. Just bill us, okay? All right. Should we jump to the final part of the podcast? Okay.
That's gone by fast.
I know. It really
Wow.
has. Yes. Settle our debate.
Okay.
Everyone's favorite section. They love to get on there and give their opinion. I love reading the opinions, right? Even though sometimes
Most of the time.
they don't agree with me, right?
Again, I think it's because it's mostly women and Jaiden's
Okay.
a man.
Well, I'll.
But I'm an ally to the women.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but you still don't.
So what's the debate?
Yeah.
I know I have a beard.
What is the debate?
Yeah. What's the
Are we,
debate?
we're debating whether or not you're an ally. Is that the debate?
Yes.
Okay.
And I want to hear.
Yes.
Jaiden likes to drag.
Yes, he does. He
What
likes
do you
He
mean?
likes to build up. He likes to keep you hanging.
That's great. Go ahead.
Okay.
You are an ally.
I love them. And they're my friend.
I love women. I'm
Women
married
I
to
love,
one.
Okay. I'm on your side.
Okay.
Okay. And again, this debate is not my opinion. It's just something we talked about.
Yes.
That would be good. Okay. So the debate is, should you have sex out of obligation?
So are you going to say your opinions?
Sure. Go ahead, Linz.
I feel like it's almost like a little bit of a compromise, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously sometimes you have different sex drives, and more sex could be something that one partner needs, but the other partner doesn't necessarily need. So sometimes I feel like just to fulfill, well, I guess I just labeled who's who in this scenario.
I wonder who's who.
Yeah, you're.
But sometimes I feel like just because I feel like you need that, like I'll just do it out of obligation, but I'm fine with that because you have a need. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm getting wrecked.
but it's not like I'm upset about it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's cool. You make. I feel like.
I'm just having fun watching you squirm.
I feel like you're making me seem like I'm like this, like hound. You know, like a back alley cat.
Yeah, I don't think she. No, I think her perception. What I got was that you are more frequently interested in sex than she is.
Yes.
Dude, yes.
That's all.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
We should say it like that,
Yes.
you know.
She said it so good.
Okay, so here's the thing. Okay.
But I guess here's the question before you say what you're gonna say. Would you rather me do it out of obligation?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't want it.
Okay.
If it's out of obligation.
Okay.
Like, I only want it if you want it.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Okay, can I share something
Yeah,
with
please
you?
save me. Get me out of here.
Okay, so the idea of sex drive, or how we view sexuality, is very masculine.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sex drive, it's very masculine.
Right.
So I prefer, this is from a book, Emily Nagoski, called Come As You Are, thank you. That there is spontaneous desire and responsive desire. And what I hear you saying is you have higher spontaneous desire, and you probably have more responsive desire.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Dr.
so it's
Julie,
not.
hey.
It is not like low sex drive, high sex
Right.
drive. That's
Yes.
not.
Yes.
That's not a helpful frame. That it's spontaneous. So it's looking at it like high and low is not helpful. It's
I like
just
that.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with spontaneous desire, the idea it's like it's there and
Right.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
With responsive,
Some build
you
up.
have to engage
Yeah.
in sexual behavior or thoughts or that kind of thing, and then the desire comes. It's not that. So it's just a different kind
Right.
of desire, not a different kind of sex drive.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yes.
So to answer, like my answer to your question
Yeah.
is if you are the responsive desire, it's okay to choose to engage in sexual behavior, hoping that you will get the desire,
sure. Yeah.
and it's okay to not.
Right.
To go like,
Yeah.
I'm not up for that right
Right.
now.
Yeah.
That it should never be out of obligation to, obligation to please your
Right.
partner.
Yeah.
But because you have a loving relationship
Yeah.
and you know, like, oh, he has more spontaneous, and so that it's kind of like
Right.
on the forefront, and the
Yeah.
desire's there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna choose to go there today.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be out of obligation. It should be out of a desire to connect, not to avoid the other person being mad at you or to
Right.
avoid,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fights or that
Yeah,
kind of
that's a
thing.
Good point.
Yeah, because, like, you hit it right on the head.
Yeah,
That
you
was
did.
beautiful.
You really did.
Man.
So eliminate
Yeah.
high and low
Yeah.
sex drive,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And you're not responsible for
him.
his
Yeah.
desire,
Right.
and vice versa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
So let me give you a scenario.
Okay.
Okay. Won't get too crazy, okay?
Turns rated R.
This is a family show. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm sitting there, and Lindsay is hot. Okay?
Jaiden, please. Don't embarrass
She's
me.
beautiful. And I, like, adore her.
Yes.
Right?
She really does, and I know it.
Like, she's my queen.
Yes.
Right? And let's say she comes in and she looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? And I spontaneously
Desire her.
desire her.
Yes.
Right? The combustion. Right? But I'm trying to, like, check the vibe check.
Okay.
Right? So I'm looking like, does she seem tired? Does she, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Right? And then I get the vibe check. It's a no.
Okay.
Right? What do I do? Do I still go there and maybe I got the wrong read?
Well,
right?
do you tell her, like, you are so hot to me. I really desire you right now. Like, you are my queen. Like, do you tell her that?
Yeah. But I do.
He does.
I'm
yes.
sweet.
Yeah.
No, I know you are. But in that moment, do you tell
Here's the
her
thing.
why? Like, do you give her the context of where you're coming from? Like, why you're desiring her? What about her is desirable?
Not as much.
Okay.
Because if I give her my heart,
Like,
right?
Just stomp right on it.
And she goes like, I just ate and I'm full.
Okay.
My heart kind of breaks.
But I don't think she's gonna. If you're like, you know what, I think you're so hot, and I love this about you, and da 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 da, and like I'm here for you if you're open to it. She's not going to say, I just ate. Right? Like if you're
okay, I'm embellishing a little bit, but yeah. Like, I'm fearful of the like
rejection.
If I don't go there, then the combustion will pass.
Okay.
You know?
But it's like you can reframe it. Is it rejection, or she's just not open to it right then? It's not a personal rejection. It's like, no, I'm good, but thank you for telling me all these great things.
Yeah.
Probably later, but you know.
But I also feel like that's why women tend to give in or feel obligated, because they don't want to
make me sad.
I don't want to make him feel rejected or feel sad, you know.
Well, but that's a story you're making up, that she's rejecting me. It's like, no, she's just not up for it right now. It's not like she's never going to have sex with me again. You know?
Yeah.
But what I want to encourage you to do is tell her, give her like where you're coming from, instead of just grab her or like, do you know what I mean? Say like, this is what I'm thinking and this is how I feel about you.
Yeah.
That's so attractive.
I know.
To the spontaneous desire, to the responsive desire person to have the context of what's going on for you.
Yeah.
It's not just like, oh, I want to jump your bones. You know, it's like, no, this is about you. Yeah. Like I'm so in love with you and here's why.
Yeah. That's cool. I like that. And I think, I like the spontaneous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so much more helpful than like low desire, high desire. Yeah. Like you're labeling this.
Right.
We're removing that from our vocabulary. Yeah, that's good.
And you know, if you're the responsive one, that you're not going to feel spontaneous desire most of the time. Right. And that's okay. You can choose to go there or not. Yeah. That's your choice.
I like that.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think you're awesome too. You're both so great.
This has been so fun.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
I feel
I've loved it.
I keep like putting myself in the listener's seat, and I feel like they'll like this one. So,
good.
Thank you so much for coming on. Tell everybody where they can find you. Where should they go next if they want to learn more? Or kind of keep this conversation going.
Yeah, at Dr. Julie Hanks on social media.
Okay, perfect.
drjuliehanks.com.
Yes.
I have a group coaching membership that's like totally cheap, affordable way to work with me. Yeah. And then wasatchfamilytherapy.com is my therapy practice.
Okay.
And we have 3 locations in Utah and 1 in Mesa, Arizona.
Love it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And if you see my name on the books at one of your locations,
just be like, put a little star
put a star and then say, be mean to this one.
He will try to please you. Do not buy into his...
What I should do, I just had a thought. I know we're ending, but what I should do is when I find a therapist, I send them this episode.
Yeah, say, here's my main issue, is that I'm worried about you liking me.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on. This is so fun. Be sure to like and subscribe. There's always the submission link if you want to put in a question. But tune in next Monday for the next episode. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks. If you enjoyed this episode of Between Us, be sure to check out this other episode that we think you will also like.
And be sure to subscribe so that you can see all of our videos.